Get up out of bed. Come on, get up. Come on now. Get up. Get up. Wake up. You thought this would be better than an alarm clock, didn't you?
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, everybody. 19 minutes after 7 o'clock. It's Tuesday. It's the first work day for many of you. So get up. Get up. Come on, get up. It is September 2nd, 2014. September. This is the month that summer ends.
Yes.
Summer ends like around the 20th or so of this month, right?
Yeah, that's what they say.
So autumn begins this month. Summer ends this month. It's just so sad to see the summer go. Fortunately, we live in Florida, so it's kind of summer.
Yeah.
Like, 11 months out of the year. Good morning, Robin. How are you?
Good. Good morning, Larry.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, too.
Excellent.
Let me tell you what we're doing this morning. At 7:35, I'm going to ask you if I'm being a hypocrite about something. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
I have been opposed to eminent domain pretty much in almost every instance when I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Whereas the government says, you know that house you're living in? You gotta... We're going to put a highway there, and we're going to pay you for that house, but you've got no choice.
Exactly.
We're going to move you off that property, and we're going to build a road. I still am opposed to that, so I'm not a hypocrite when it comes to that. But there's an eminent domain story happening up on Long Island that I wanted to ask you what you think about it. And it really has a lot of implications for here in Florida.
Oh.
If you go to Clearwater, and you've been to Clearwater like 30 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
You used to be able to go down there and drive up and go to the beach.
Yep.
Well, now there are lots and lots of private property circumstances, whether they're private homes or hotels. Mm-hmm. And it's not so easy to get to those beaches. I suppose the actual waterway is still public.
I think so.
But most of those beaches are not, which is weird because where the water starts is where you're okay.
Yeah.
On the land, you're not. And it's kind of weird. So you go down to Clearwater now, and there's still, I guess you could argue, there's plenty of beach space. But there once upon a time was a lot more. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the rest of the coastal areas of the state, but I know that one particular area. Well, there's an area on Long Island in New York. I don't really know the area. It's a town called Asharokan. I don't really know the area, but anyway, apparently it was badly damaged during Hurricane Sandy. Well, the federal government says, tell you what, we'll size it up. We'll make sure that it's more secure and the erosion ends, and we'll take care of all of that. But you've got to allow us to declare eminent domain on the area and allow the public to be able to use the beach. That's the government side of this. Now, of course, there is a skeptical part of me that wonders, I wonder what they're really up to.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you take it at face value and you say, okay, so what they want to do is they want to make the beach that was private property become public property so that, once again, beachgoers could use those beaches that were once no longer accessible to the public.
So now I guess I'm confused. If you're walking along the beach and then you start walking in front of houses, you can't go there?
I guess technically,
it's private?
I guess technically that's it. Yeah, I don't know. I think if you are just walking, I don't know. That's a weird thing. I don't know.
Yeah, because now
I guess if you set up your blanket and your umbrella and all that, I guess then somebody come, hey, get off of my land. I guess you could do that, but if you just walk, I don't know. Wow. But anyway, it's an eminent domain story that I don't know. I was thinking about it. Boy, that would be nice if we could go to those beaches again. Not the one in this town in Long Island, because I don't really know it. But but I mean, like in Clearwater.
Yeah.
Although I don't get there that often, and the beaches that are available are still pretty nice. I don't know. Now, maybe it's a moot point. Or is it moot? The word is moot. A moot point to talk about. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about. We can do that. So set us at 7:35. It's an interesting topic. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say about it. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit my little.
I wouldn't
my
take
little
it at face value.
springy
The
there.
government has something else in mind.
All right. Well, that's an important part. So we'll talk about that at 7:35. 8:35. We turn off the opinion motors in our brains. We just simply read the news. That's how we divide. That's how we come up with our opinions, by hearing the facts, ma'am.
Yep.
News bites is what we call it. We shorten them, and hopefully they are factual. Today is Tuesday. Carolyn Baldwin always brightens these studios. She's a master gardener, and she's a delight, and her show is called You've Got a Garden. So if you have a garden, a lawn, anything, maybe grow stuff on your beachfront, I don't know.
Yep.
She can help you with that. Randy Susan Myers works with victims and batterers
Yes, she does.
in domestic violence cases. She works with the bad guys and the good guys. She works with youth impacted by street violence, and she's a contributor to a bunch of different publications. She's written a book called Accidents of Marriage, Exploring Emotional Abuse and Traumatic Brain Injury with Unblinking Honesty. Wow.
Yeah.
Damage control. Joe Reichel comes in at 10:35. Not marital damage, but rather home damage.
Yep.
If your home has been damaged, whether severely or minor damage, and you're trying to fix it yourself, Joe can help you out with some answers you might have to questions about what tools to use, what supplies to use. Of course, he can also recommend somebody like Damage Control Services to come help you on a professional level. Peter T. Coleman at 11:05 today. He's a psychologist, a professor of psychology, and listen to this. Who can have this on there? Whether you like the UN or not, if you see this on somebody's resume, you go, whoa.
That's right.
This guy is a New York State certified mediator whose clients include IBM, the United Nations.
Yes.
A mediator for the United Nations. I thought the United Nations was a mediation group.
Yeah.
But the mediators need a mediator, obviously.
That's right.
I'm going to ask him that, by the way.
Oh, good.
He's been with the U.S. State Department.
He mediates for them, too. I mean, you'd think, all the problems in the world would be solved with this guy. Right?
Well, maybe that's why he's not doing it anymore. He's written a book called Making Conflict Work, Harnessing the Power of Disagreement. Hey, I could have written that book.
Yes, you could.
I could have written that book. I've been the one who always has said, wait a minute, there might be something we can learn from somebody who disagrees with us. And hopefully that person thinks the same thing, although it usually doesn't happen in reverse. Fun with Joe today, fun topic. It comes from a story that I have in my own personal life. I was traveling out west. I think it was in Texas, and I went to get a bag of ice. And I was in the grocery store, couldn't find the ice machine or the ice cooler, whatever, freezer. And I asked the girl if she had any ice. And she said, I'm sorry? I said, do you have any ice? She said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're saying. I said, really? I said, I'm looking for ice. Do you have any ice? Mm-hmm. Hold on. So she gets another woman, and the woman says, can I help you? I said, yes, I'm looking for ice. Oh, ice. Yeah, it's in the freezer. So the first woman says, what did he say? Oh, he said ice. He was, ice. Now, I don't hear any difference at all in the accents between me or the two ladies.
Yeah.
Somebody told me later on that in Texas they say ace, not ice. You're going to get a bag of ace? Really? I don't get this.
I don't either.
Anyway, so so the game today with Fun with Joe is I've got words that end in ice and words that end in ace. So it's ace or ice.
Oh, wow. Ace or ice trivia. I love
So
that.
every answer you have will either end in ACE or ICE. Common spelling error,
Yeah.
by the way. Oh, and the segment
Yes.
with Galen Unold. I got to tell you this, Robin.
Okay.
All right, I got a letter in my email.
Okay.
Dear Larry, or actually it says, hey, Larry. Hey, Larry. Mm-hmm. Hey, Larry. Hey, Larry. I heard you mention Smiley the monkey at Silver Springs. Uh-huh. I think you should know that the story of the monkey throwing rocks at an alligator to scare it away from 3 kids who were in the water after capsizing their canoe is an urban legend. It was started by, I'm not making this up, Robin. It was started by a local radio DJ. A local radio DJ started this rumor. We were on the air in 2008.
Yes, we were.
I don't remember his name, he says. Or I guess it's a he. Jess, Jess. Could be a woman, I guess.
Yeah, could be.
Anyway, just thought you should know.
Well,
If it's on the Silver Springs, isn't that a rural legend? That's not an urban legend.
that's exactly. But we were talking about Smiley in 2008. You were doing the
We
news.
were talking about it.
The news.
We had that story.
Yeah,
But we didn't
exactly.
make it up.
Exactly.
I don't know if they're talking about us or not, or she or he, whoever it is. I don't know.
There isn't anybody else.
But
it could
anyway, so
possibly be.
Why? Why couldn't it be somebody else? Everybody had that story, Robin. We weren't the only ones with that story. All right, so that was what, 2008?
Yeah.
I don't think.
You got it.
I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, so I have here, when we have Galen Uneld on the phone from Life South, I have not only that story that I'll repeat, but I also have pop culture urban legends that turned out to be true.
Oh, okay.
So I'm saying, Jess, Jess, you're saying it's an urban legend. First of all, I think it should be a rural legend because it's Silver Springs.
Exactly.
And second of all, I think it might be true. I seem to remember it as a story, a news story.
Yeah, it was a news story.
And plus, we got a photo of Smiley the monkey.
Yeah, it's
So
a real photo.
I think it's real. I don't know. We'll be back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Steve Rappaport. A secret mission in Somalia.
Airstrikes on terror targets just south of the capital city of Mogadishu. Here is what the Pentagon says about this. U.S. military forces conducted an operation in Somalia today against the Al-Shabaab network. We are assessing the results of the operation.
Fox's Doug Luzader. Labor Day was a work day for the commander-in-chief.
President Obama using a Labor Day rally in Milwaukee to launch a spirited defense of his and Democrats' economic record.
More folks are working. The economy is growing stronger.
The president pointing at recent economic trends, suggesting a quicker pace in hiring, and the president chastising Republicans for blocking efforts to raise the federal minimum wage.
Fox Radio's Jared Halpern. And doctors expect to bring Joan Rivers out of a medically induced coma today. The 81-year-old went into cardiac arrest last week. Fox News. We report, you decide.
Fox News on your time. The Fox News iPad app is ready to go with all the great features from foxnews.com and our iPhone app optimized specifically for your iPad. Watch the latest clips from your favorite Fox News shows. Personalize the app by creating your own newscast using the video playlist. Listen to Fox News Radio live. Get local weather forecasts. And it's all free. Go to foxnews2go.mobi. That's foxnews2go.mobi.
Some people would call him a loser. He ran for state office. He was beaten. He started a business. He failed. He ran for Congress. He lost. He was nominated for vice president. He lost again. But he knew only those who never tried are the real losers. And Abraham Lincoln was no loser. Persistence. Pass it on. From the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Veterans are the foundation upon which our freedom is built. Listen to The Source, WOCA, each Thursday at 9 a.m. to Veterans News with Hank Whittier from Vets Helping Vets. You'll hear tributes, information on veterans issues, and stories that will make you laugh, cry, and feel proud. Veterans News always focuses on the military, past and present, and on our first responders. Veterans News is brought to you each week by Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery, keeping you blooming since 1952.
It's time for fun, fellowship, and firearms. That's right, the 22nd annual Silver River Friends of the NRA Dinner is coming Thursday, September 4th, and you can get tickets to join us at the Marion County Ag Center by calling 352-239-0711. Help out ROTC, 4-H, and other charitable causes here in Marion County by joining us. Call 352-239-0711.
Hey Ocala, this is Kelly Hart, Executive Editor of Ocala Magazine. Did you know last year Ocala Magazine won more awards in excellence than any other publication in Florida? And this year, Ocala Magazine was named Best Consumer Magazine in the state. Now you can join me every Friday at 10 a.m. on Ocala Magazine Radio, where we bring the pages of Ocala Magazine to life, right here on The Source. Ocala Magazine thanks you for making us number one. And remember, there is only one Ocala Magazine.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
We are The Source, WOCA.
All right, 25 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in here at The Source, WOCA, broadcasting live from the Paddock Mall, just outside the WOCA commissary. Mm-hmm. It is 73 degrees. Nice looking day. And we are in the second day of the month during which summer ends. So if you haven't been to the beach, now you go to the beach anytime in the state. Anytime.
Yeah, anytime. It's
just
wonderful.
Pretty much. All right. Let's see. I do have a few, one thing I want to tell you before we get into this little debate, I guess. I'm so anxious to hear what you all have to say about this, by the way. The Ocala Marion County Chamber and Economic Partnership ribbon cutting. The next one to go to is this coming Friday. It's a ribbon cutting and open house with refreshments at Crave LA Studio Hairstyling Salon. Crave LA. Yeah. It's at 4:30. They are located at 21 East Fort King Street. You will have to park at the Citizens Circle and then walk down Fort King towards 441 and cross over Southeast 1st Avenue, and it's on the left. Oh, okay. Anyway, if you want more, call the Chamber and Economic Partnership at 629-8051. By the way, keep that number handy if you want to become a member and have your own ribbon cutting and have us announce it for you. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it?
Very cool.
All right, so let me just kind of repeat what I said before, just in case you didn't hear it, because it's important to the context of this discussion. If you go down to Clearwater, you have been there like 3 decades ago, let's say. You used to be able to go down to the Clearwater area and just pretty much pull off the side of the road and go onto the beach.
Yeah.
Not everywhere. There were hotels. But now it's really, really very, very hotel covered. I mean, there are hotels everywhere. Mm-hmm. Hotels and I think some private homes. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
The hotels are beautiful. I'm not picking on them. I think whoever does that did a really good job. But the problem is there's no beach access. You can't get to the beach. You can park in the parking lot of the hotel, but I think you'll get towed away. There are some public access parking lots to the beaches, and but the access is not public. Okay. So there's a story, not just on Long Island. It's up in New York and a couple different places, and I'm going to tell you one specifically on Asharoken, New York, which is on the north shore of Long Island. I did not know that till during the break. I looked it up on Google Maps. Mm-hmm. It's near Huntington, if you know where that is, East Northport. Wow, it's right near where I have some friends in that general area.
Yeah, you do.
But anyway, so what happened is during Hurricane Sandy, there was a massive amount of erosion in the area. So the Army Corps of Engineers, paid for with your tax dollars, federal money, going to fix up the place. But if it does, the federal government wants the private homeowners, there are 600 of them, 600 plus residents in the village of $1 million homes. These are very wealthy people living in very expensive homes, and they worry about opening the area because it'll create traffic problems, trespassing, garbage. They've pretty much got the whole beach, these 600 homes, kind of have it to themselves. It's all like a private beach because of this. The federal government is saying, look, if we fix up the beach so that the erosion problem is solved, then your end of the deal would be to create a right-of-way for the public. You'll have to give up some of your land on the side of your homes so the public can get to the beach. In other words, eminent domain. It's not one of those hard, fast demands. It's more like you can do it if you want to. Otherwise, you're going to have to pay for your own beach erosion or your own sand dunes or whatever it's called. I'm going to actually read the actual wording in the news article so that you get the gist of this. But this is also happening in New Jersey as well. In fact, it's happening in a lot of areas that Hurricane Sandy affected. Okay. So the question I ask myself is this. I have been very much an opponent of eminent domain. I don't like the idea that the government can say, we want your house, we want your land, we'll pay you for it, what we think it's worth, and you have no choice. You have to move. It happened to the folks on 484.
Yeah.
Down between Bellevue and the interstate. It happened to a gentleman who had property on the exit ramp.
326.
Thank you. By 326, which he was, I think they waited for him to pass away.
They did.
I'm not really sure in that case.
And they swooped in.
But anyway, so eminent domain, and it is in the Constitution. So eminent domain is constitutional. I hate telling you that, but it is. But it is if it's for like something public, like a roadway. So the guy with the interstate exit ramp, he kind of was, they were constitutionally correct, but still ethically wasn't correct.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, sometimes you just got to say, wait a minute, this isn't right. This guy had this land all these years. I believe this particular man was a grandson or a son of a slave. I mean, he was, they just were so wrong to him. So constitutionally, I guess there's a reason for it. If it's a roadway, 484 would be another example. There was a outlandish bad use of eminent domain up in Connecticut when they wanted to build a private shopping center. You remember that?
Oh, I do.
People were forced out of their homes because they said it was a blighted neighborhood.
Exactly.
Well, who are you to say it's a blighted neighborhood?
Yeah.
You know, if people are living a certain way, you can't take their homes away just so you can build up a shopping center. Of course, a lot of people said, come on, Larry, it's going to look so much nicer when we get the riffraff out of here.
That's right.
You know, well, come on. That was not constitutional. The Constitution does not allow you to take land for private use.
No.
It does not. Okay, so I've been very much an opponent of eminent domain. Absolutely. But now this story makes me wonder if I've got an area of eminent domain. Now, this is for public use, at least they say so. But I'm wondering if I'm being hypocritical because, not that I would need to go to the beaches at Asharoken, New York. I wouldn't need to go there. But what if they were to do this in Clearwater? What if the government was to say, okay, let's say Hurricane Dolly forms. There's a storm out there right now. They don't think it's going to cause a problem. But let's just say the storm that's out there right now becomes Dolly. It comes east, destroys, and creates great erosion over there in Clearwater. And the government says, okay, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to fix it. But all of you private homeowners, private hotels, you have to have right-of-way now for the public, because this beach is going to be changed from a private beach to a public beach.
Yeah, from the main road to the beach area. So you're talking perpendicular to the beach.
And just to be clear that is what it is, I want to read to you just a little bit of this news article that I got from the Associated Press.
Okay.
It says, on a tiny spit of land off Long Island, the wealthy village of Asharoken faces a dilemma born of Superstorm Sandy. Either it accepts millions of dollars in federal aid to build a protective sand dune, and for the first time in its nearly 90-year existence, allows the public to use its beach, or it rejects the aid and retains its privacy, potentially worsening an erosion problem that saw part of its main road washed out and power lines toppled during the October 2012 storm. But some of the 600-plus residents in the village of million-dollar homes worry that opening up the area could lead to traffic problems, trespassing, and more garbage. Asharoken is just one place where the tussle among coastal protection, property rights, public access, and federal funding is playing out in both New York and New Jersey, both hit hard by Hurricane Sandy. And then let me just jump forward to where it says about the access. Now there's a movement afoot to build or replenish dunes before the next storm. After Sandy, Congress granted the Army Corps $5.3 billion to study damaged areas and for projects to build dunes, enlarge beaches, and install structures to slow sand movement. Before work can begin, though, property owners must sign agreements allowing access to parts of their property for eternity. And to get the federal funding, communities must agree to provide public routes to the funded beaches. So there's nobody tearing down any houses. It's just saying you have to create a way to get there, okay?
Yeah.
If they decide to keep the beaches for themselves, it's either find a way to pay for the dunes or risk getting flooded again. It's like a chess game here.
Yeah.
So we have to go to the break. I'm so sorry if somebody called and I put you on hold. Just kind of hang in there through the break if you want. And I want to hear from what you all have to say about this. And we'll continue when we come back. And perhaps this actually could affect Florida.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be partly sunny today with a thunderstorm in spots, high 88 to 92. Through to partly cloudy tonight, there can be a shower or thunderstorm along the coast, low 71 to 75. Tomorrow, partly sunny with a thunderstorm around into the afternoon hours, high 88 to 92. Thursday, times of clouds and sunshine with a chance of a shower, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, Gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. I'd like to invite you to stop by and see our new boutique area and meet our staff of professional stylists. Here at Hello Gorgeous, we are ready to update your look with the latest trends. And with summer here, it's the perfect time to brighten up your look. So make your appointment now for those highlights and Brazilian blowout. But don't stop there. We are a full-service salon offering manicures, pedicures, and facials also. So if you've been searching for a salon to call your own, come and see us at Hello Gorgeous Salon. We are located at 48 South Magnolia Avenue in downtown Ocala, right next to the Marion Theater. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358.
Hello, Gorgeous.
Who would you feed if you had 50 chicken sandwiches from Chick-fil-A? WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall have teamed up to reward one organization with 50 chicken sandwiches as a way of saying thanks for the great work that organization is doing in our community. And we need your help. See, there are so many great people doing great things that we need nominations. You can nominate your own organization or any organization you choose. Simply send an email to WOCA@WOCA.com. And in 350 words or less, tell us why the organization you are nominating should receive 50 free chicken sandwiches from WOCA and Chick-fil-A at the Paddock Mall. We'll review your nominations and then select one deserving organization each month. We'll announce the winner and even read the winning entry on the air. Make sure to include the contact name and phone number of the organization that you are nominating. And thanks from your friends at WOCA and Chick-fil-A in the Paddock Mall.
News Talk 1370. WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
All right, thank you. 12 minutes before 8 o'clock. Thank you for waiting. Again, we're talking about the government, the federal government, making an offer not just to this one town in the North Shore of Long Island, but there's a couple of others in New Jersey. 11 core projects are planned, same kind of deal. Breezy Point in Queens on the Rockaway Peninsula also. has this same kind of deal being given to some private homeowners, and there's a 14-mile dune in an area called Massaquan Inlet. So this is not just the only story of this. Jenkinson's Boardwalk, also I believe that's in New Jersey, the Point Pleasant Beach area. A lot of these areas that were hit by Hurricane Sandy, creating an issue where the government says, look, we'll fix it as long as you provide access to the beach for the public.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Somebody's been waiting patiently. Let me go take that call first. Good morning. You're on the air. What do you think?
Good morning. If you want to have a millionaire's playground, then the millionaires ought to put up the money to fix the beach. Now, if you're going to do it on my dime, I have to be able to put my feet on it.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderfully said.
Yeah, it's an if-then. It's not that they're saying we're going to do it and shove it down your throat. They're giving them a choice. Now, there's other situations on Long Island of a similar nature. Way back when, out on the east end of Long Island, there were people that built forward of the seawall, and they were grandfathered in. They didn't have to knock their house down and move back behind the seawall, but at some point they were not able to receive federal flood insurance when the rules changed. And so that if they are damaged, they must rebuild back of the seawall.
Okay, all right. It's a little bit different, but I understand.
So, it's gone on before under, in different areas. Those old millionaire homes out in the Hamptons that were built forward of the seawall when there was no regulation. And at some point, they stopped selling federal flood insurance to homes forward of the seawall.
Okay. All right, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate your opinion. I love.
Have a good day.
Thank you, and thank you for waiting during the break. By the way, I mean, we don't say to people who are buying property that you can't build without access. I think maybe that should be set up front.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the rule rather than facing this every single time this happens. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, it's me, Tom.
Hey, Tom.
Well, it's it's like here in Florida. I mean, all our rivers are considered public waterways, and there has to, and anywhere anybody builds, they have to keep some kind of public access to the waterways. Like along the Rainbow River, there has to be some sort of public access to the river. The two main places I can think of is the bridge on 464 there, and or 484, excuse me. And then I guess when you get down into town, you get onto Withlacoochee, right there by the bridge there, and then motor your way up. But what I'm saying is now, evidently on Long Island, they can build and block in a beach and restrict access, or stop access to the public. And if these rich people want to keep that beach private to themselves, well, their rich money that they've got can pay for the repairs. I mean, Jim's right 100% on this. If they want federal money to pay for the beach, then they're going to have to allow public access.
It is
no ifs, no ands,
it
no
is
buts.
kind of hard for the general public to have empathy for these guys. You're right. I think I feel the same way. It's the same thing with the citizens insurance that helped subsidize the flood insurance for those people who built on the coast here in Florida.
Exactly.
I mean, you go to Daytona, there's a lot of flap about, but used to be you could just get on Daytona Beach wherever you wanted. But a lot of building has gone on, and now the access is limited, but there's still access. They still have to maintain access to that beach. There's no matter what, you still have access to the beach. There's a lot of places you can't drive on the beach anymore. If I'm remembering right, I remember Daytona Beach used to be a lot wider than it is now. I don't know if they built closer to the water or than when we were kids.
Well, the water rose. I don't know.
Or the beach eroded away. But either way, there's public access to that beach. No matter, just about no matter where you go down A1A, you can find public access to the beach. So, I don't know what the laws are in New York anymore on that, or what they were, or on that. But I do remember when we used to go out to Lake Ronkonkoma. Pretty soon, you couldn't get public access to Lake Ronkonkoma. You had to go in through a public picnic area. So.
All right, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. I think.
Bye.
Thank you. I think the thing we seem to be agreeing on, even though I don't know, I didn't ask Jim and Tom what they thought of public eminent domain in general. But in this case, that's the rule they're using, is the eminent domain rule. Look, we will take over this. This will become ours. This will become public property, whereas what used to be private property all the way up to the water line, which, ebbs and, what do they say, goes up and down. But if the federal government owns it, then you have to allow access to it. There are 600 homes, 600 large homes, I would presume, because of the way the wording was. So if there are 600 large, that's a large area.
Side by side, those homes are
right, and you
new.
probably can imagine there's a lot of space between the homes if they're wealthy people. They don't build them right next to each other like they do in the poorer areas of the world.
Yeah.
So they probably have a lot of space, probably no problem. They probably could easily say, okay, we'll put a road right here. But my question, and I don't know that this article answers the question, is does each home have to have a driveway or through it or some kind of you know what I mean?
Or maybe just a sidewalk for the people. The people have to park
or would there be
on the other side, and then like Daytona Beach, you got to park on one side and then just walk down to the beach on the areas you can't drive on.
But to take a real circumstance happening up in New Jersey and New York and apply it in a hypothetical way to Florida, the question would be, right now, if you go to Clearwater, you can't get to the beach unless you're staying at one of those hotels, except for the places where they have provided for public access, and they are there.
Yeah,
but Robin, those parking lots are very small.
Right. And they fill up fast.
They are very small, and you have to pay.
Yeah.
For the parking, which again, I mean, you have to pay to get on the beach in Daytona. So.
Yeah.
So it's public property, but you still have to pay, even though you've already paid through taxes.
Yeah, you got to pay for the lifeguards and stuff there.
I know, and nobody really complains about paying it. It's just, hypothetically, would you want the federal government to say to these hotels, you've got to open up a pathway for people to get through there?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want that.
You wouldn't? Okay, all right.
No.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Larry, Robin. What do these people pay taxes for then? That's number one. Number two, if they're going to do that, it's got to be the same ruling for, say, Hyannisport, Cape Cod, and a lot of other beaches where there's actually no access. And, what's good for one should be good for all. And this is where I think there's a big concern. Now, the other thing is, what about the fact that these are basically barrier islands? Now, when I was a kid down in along Howard Beach in that area, Rockaways, these people had these little bungalows and everything, and they would love to go there. They'd spend the whole summer out there, and the working families would commute to work and back home again. But the only thing was the storms came in. I can remember a few in the 50s and early 50s. These people were wiped out. Now, either they rebuilt their homes at their own expense because they couldn't get insurance, or they sold their lot. I don't even know if they could sell a lot. Basically, they were squatters. That's how they originally started out. It was places where nobody really wanted to live, except these people had a vision and whatever, so they went there and they built. But now that real estate has gone up in value, so all of a sudden, I don't know what the true result should be, but like I said, if it's good for New Jersey, it ought to be good for Massachusetts and Connecticut and all those other places where you can't even see the water, never mind near the beach.
Yeah.
That's my thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonny. I appreciate your thought. So, I mean, where it used to be here in Florida, our favorite playground, which was the beaches, is now still there. But it's not always easy to have access to it. The only way you can really enjoy many of the beaches is if you get a room in one of those hotels. Because then, you got a room. You paid for a room, so you have access to the beach that the hotel sits on. Not that you couldn't have gotten there.
Right.
In the case of Daytona, it's easy because you can drive on the beach.
Yeah.
But in Clearwater, you can't. So in Clearwater, if you wanted to have access to some of those beaches, I mean, you'd have to be willing to walk pretty far. You'd have to park near Pier 60 or 61. What's it called?
Pier 61.
You have to park over there, which is difficult as it is. And of course you have to pay to park. And then if you wanted to go to some of the old beach / playgrounds that you might have gone to in the 70s, 80s, whatever, before they started building that way, you'd have to walk. And why would you? I don't know. I guess it's hypothetical as far as Florida is concerned, but you never know. It could happen overnight, especially if the government is already doing it up in New York and New Jersey. All right, we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. This is The Source, WOCA Ocala.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Our military going after militants in Somalia.
U.S. forces took aim at the leader of the al-Qaeda-linked al-Shabaab group yesterday by launching a drone in southern Somalia in response to an attack on an interrogation center.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland in Washington.
We don't know if the leader was killed, but defense officials say some of the attackers and 2 civilians died in the strike. A Pentagon spokesman says officials are still assessing the results of the operation. Last September, al-Shabaab gunmen attacked a mall in Nairobi, Kenya, killing more than 60 people.
With the crisis in Ukraine still raging, President Obama heading to Estonia, the tiny nation bordering Russia, for meetings with Baltic leaders. Then he'll attend a NATO summit in Wales. And more than 30 teens escaping from a detention center in Nashville late last night. About half of them captured, but 17 still on the loose. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Fox News Early Prime, breaking down business news and its impact on your bottom line. Your World with Neil Cavuto.
That's how I do business. That's why I am business.
Bold positions and brash opinions on the topics America is buzzing about. The Five.
How do you think this will set in with the American people?
This will be the pulse of the nation.
Washington insight and political know-how from the best in the Beltway. Special report with Brett Baer.
The epicenter of the political world is here.
The #1 place for fair and balanced coverage. Fox News Channel.
What's wrong with working hard to make our lives and our kids' lives better? Nothing. At Fox Business, we don't have a problem with success. We have a very big problem with those who get in the way of it. We don't come out of the box bashing those who make money, just the politicians stealing it and the bureaucracies wasting it. We're not just sitting behind a desk. We're out in the field, on the floor, with the folks. Because when a story moves forward, so do we.
Fox Business, the power to prosper.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
You hear a lot of announcements on WOCA, but you don't want to miss this one. The Salvation Army Church Indoor Yard Sale is happening on Saturday, September 6th from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and everything is priced to move. Over 5 truckloads of Christmas items, clothing, furniture, knickknacks, and books. Doors open at 8 a.m. and there will be a little of everything. Go to 2901 Northeast 14th Street here in Ocala. Thank you for supporting the Salvation Army programs.
Hi, Danny Warfel here. Get moving with Florida Credit Union's fast and easy loan approval process.
Let Florida Credit Union start up a new car loan for you today. No more